All right, this is Jeff Zimmerman here with the legend, Hall of Fame referee Richard Steele, the man that knows super fights like no other referee in history. And for full disclosure, my boxing mentor, Richard Steele. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Man, you're looking good. What are you, 50, 45?
Man, I'm 79 years old.
79. Hey, Richard.
Can't
So
wait to be 80.
yeah, you got a birthday coming up in January.
That's right.
So, Richard, we got a big fight coming up next week in Vegas, the fight capital of the world. You know that town like nobody's business. Spence and Crawford. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Well, it's been a long time, but it reminds me of Leonard and Hearns or Hagler and Hearns. It's that type of fight. You know, the type of fight that you know is going to make history.
Now, you've been in that town for forever now. Can you feel the electricity out there that a super fight is about to take place?
Yeah, it's beginning to build up. It's beginning to, everybody's getting excited about it. And then so many people is coming to town, all the hotels are being filled up. So yeah, it's getting to be like the old days.
Yeah, the old days. So let's talk about the old days a little bit. The super fights, Hagler Hearns, the three greatest rounds in boxing, Leonard Hagler, Chavez Taylor.
Right.
When you got the call to do one of those fights, was the preparation different for you, or was it just like any other fight?
No, it was very exciting to me and everybody else. You know, everybody wanted to do those fights. So when I got the call that I was being appointed to be the referee, I was very excited, and my family, everybody was, excited. So, it was a big thing.
What was there any nerves going into those fights, like where you got a referee, you don't want to cause any issues, you want to referee the perfect fight?
That's right. Yeah. So the first thing you do is make sure you're in good shape, make sure that you can get in and get out, that you have to be in the condition that you're gonna really be in control of everything. So yeah, it was exciting, and you know that you had to do your job, and that the whole world is going to be looking at you, and whatever you do, it's got to be the right thing.
Yeah, and before we dive into the fight, Richard, I know you watch as much boxing as anybody. There's been a lot of controversial, not just decisions, but also reffing lately.
Yeah, it's been some, I don't understand it, but yeah, it's been a lot of problems.
And why is that? I mean, do you have a reason for it, or what are your thoughts around it?
Well, I don't really have a reason for it, but I think that the officials today, I think they need to really uh, take control of the fight and know their job and just do their job. You know, they don't have to add or subtract anything. Just do the job that you was trained to do, the job that you started out to do, and you should be okay.
Did you see the fight Friday night on ESPN, George Kambosos and Maxie Hughes, by chance?
Yes.
And George Kambosos got the win. A lot of people thought he lost.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, that's on the judge's side. The ref didn't have anything to do with that.
Right.
But the it was a shame for something to happen nationwide. Everybody see that the guy got robbed.
Yeah. Yeah. One judge had it 117, 111 for Kambosos.
Yeah, that was that was that was really something. But the fight was way closer than that.
Right, right,
And like you said, a lot of people thought that he lost.
right, right. So let's talk about. We've been talking about, you and I have been talking about Spence and Crawford for years now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously I'm in Dallas. I'm in Spence country, but give me your kind of breakdown of that fight, and who do you think will have their hand raised Saturday night?
Well, Spence. I think he's a harder puncher. I think that he punches the hardest, but I don't know if he has the fight plan that Crawford has. Crawford is a hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. I spent time at some of his training camps because I had a kid who was in the same training camp that he was in, trained by the same, Bomac. So, I have seen him work out, and the guy is a really sharp guy. He works hard, and one thing that I was able to see that even his sparring sessions and the sparring partners, they was hard as anything. They really got him ready for this fight. So the kid is going to be a tough. He's going to be somebody to really have to. It's not going to be a gimme, but it's going to have. You have to be able to take it away from this kid. This kid's going to be there fighting from bell one to the last bell.
Yeah. So do you give the edge to Crawford then?
I do. I think that like I said, I've seen this guy spar. I've seen this guy throw. He throws a lot of punches, and he throws punches that really mean something. A lot of power on it. He works inside. He moves. He got a very good defense. So yeah, I give him the edge.
Let's talk about some of your fights, Richard. The one fight that's still talked about to this day, Chavez Taylor. Every time the anniversary comes up in March, it's been what, March 1990, 33 years ago. Yeah. What do you remember about that fight?
Well, it was a hell of a fight. The kid, he was winning the fight. If he had a last, throughout the 12 rounds, everybody thought he should have won, but it's not over till it's over. And when he got dropped with that right hand, he was able to pull himself up, but he wasn't the same. He pulled himself up, but he didn't have any get-go. He didn't have any strength. He didn't have any power to keep going, so the fight was over.
When you hear people say, Richard, and you've heard it all, even from your own family, right? There was only 2 seconds left, the fight would have been over. When you hear stuff like that, what do you say to the fans that are still, talking about it?
Oh yeah, well, most of them understand that he wasn't able to continue. He couldn't even, keep himself up. The fight was over with. It took him everything he had to last, those 11 rounds. So when he got dropped with that right hand, it was over because that took all the strength that he had out of him.
I think there's a lot of confusion, and maybe this is for TV, but when those blinking lights come over the ring, when there's 10 seconds left in the round, do you look at that, or does that matter to a referee?
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because he's favoring one or the other. So those lights should not affect your decisions, should not affect your job. You know, uh, is letting you and everybody else know, and it's letting the fighters know that it's only 10 seconds left. So you better do whatever you got to do. So, if you're not able to get away and show that you're strong enough to continue, strong enough to finish, the fight is over with.
Right. And as a referee, that 10 seconds is just letting you know, but it's no impact on what you're supposed to do as far
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You can't favor any one of the fighters, So you can't be looking at the light and thinking there's only 10 seconds, so he should be able to finish, or it's only 10 seconds, or he should be able to stop the guy with one more punch or whatever. You shouldn't even think that way, You shouldn't even look at the light. That's why the light don't make no difference with me.
What is the light there for? Is it for TV? Is it just to let the
Yeah, it's for TV, it's for the fans, it's for the fighters, it's for everybody, letting you know that there's only 10 seconds left, So it's for everybody, But you got to be able to capitalize and be able to be strong enough to be able to either last or show that you're in control, or the fight's gonna be over.
I've heard you say through the years, it doesn't matter if it's 2 seconds into a fight or 2 seconds left in a fight. If a fighter's done, they're done.
That's right. And over the years, I got so many people still, like you say, they talk about it. People come to me and say, yeah, you did the right thing. They changed their mind. Some people, they said, oh man, I wanted that guy to win. But see, that's where the problem was. You wanted him to win, but
Right.
He got to win on his own.
Right. You'll never change the people from Philly's minds, but I know a lot of people have changed their opinions over the years. So
yes,
but hell of a fight, no doubt. Let's go to another one. Richard didn't quite get that far, but 3 greatest rounds in boxing history: the great late Hagler, marvelous Marvin Hagler, and Thomas Hitman Hearns. What do you recall from that fight?
Yeah, it was a hell of a 3 rounds, hell of a 3 round, and 2 great fighters, 2 great fighters. That's why, but it went down in history as the best 3 rounds ever in boxing, because they really gave it all, they really gave it all. And, it's a shame that we have lost so many great fighters, so many great fighters has left, and they have really gave us a lot of action, a lot of history, a lot of happiness and sadness, but they gone.
Yeah, that 3 rounds took a lot out of you though too, right?
Oh yeah. To be honest with you, I thought I was in shape, but I was tired after the first round.
Yeah.
Oh man, they was throwing so many punches and moving so fast, and every time I look at that fight, boy, I just, I get happy because I know that it was the greatest 3 rounds ever in boxing.
Were you surprised, and maybe not in the moment, but Hearns landed his vicious right hand to Hagler.
Yeah.
Hagler just kept coming like a bull.
Kept coming. He was determined. And matter of fact, he says to me, I'm not gonna let you stop this fight on no cut. When he got cut with that right hand, split his head, and man, he just kept coming.
Right. And he told you that in the moment, huh?
Oh yeah. He said, I'm not gonna let you stop this fight on no cut. So in other words, he was gonna be there fighting,
Right. He made sure to take care of business.
Yeah.
Let's one more big fight, Richard, because again, I'm like on the anniversary or with this Spence Crawford coming up. Again, you're the legend that did so many of these super fights, and in Vegas, and welterweights. So, it just seemed appropriate that, I needed to talk to you. But Leonard and Hagler, um, talk about that fight and, just what happened.
Well, Leonard, he was a very smart fighter. And he won that fight on smartness. He won that fight because, his fight plan was better than Hagler's fight plan, And, he was a great fighter. Hagler was a great fighter, but he outsmarted him.
Yeah, and Hagler started off as an orthodox fighter.
Yes.
The first 4 or so rounds. Did that surprise you?
No, it didn't surprise me because I know that he was looking for a way to win. He was looking for something to overturn the opinion of everybody. But like I said, Leonard was smart. He knew his fight plan was the best, and he stuck to it.
Now you said way back when on HBO, Legendary Nights, the great documentary they would do. The more you watch that fight, the closer and closer it gets.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And why is that, though? Why is that?
Well, when you really dissect the rounds and dissect the minutes and the punches and everything, it was very close. It was very close. Hagler, he did a better job than most people thought he did, but he didn't do enough.
Leonard, you thought Leonard earned the victory?
Oh yes, yeah, he definitely earned the victory. He was a great fighter.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Let's switch gears, Richard. You mentioned it earlier. You got a fighter. You're 79. You're still working with these young fighters, and we'll talk about your foundation and gym here in a minute. But you got a kid by the name of Lester Martinez, super middleweight out of Guatemala. He's now being trained by Bomac. Talk about Lester and what's the ceiling for him?
Well, Lester is a very exciting kid. He's a kid that he's really easy to manage, and my partner and I, we've been able to. He's 16-0 now, and he's got a fight on September the 20th, and he's 16-0, and we're thinking that he's going to be 17-0, and by the first of the year, we should be able to get one of the big title fights.
Okay. What and have you seen any noticeable changes? I know it's been pretty quick, or just happened recently with Bomac working with him.
Oh yeah. Determination, power. He's really has got him punching like a big puncher. Putting strength and power in his punches. So he has with Bomac, he has really brought him up 3 or 4 different levels.
Wow. Lester Martinez, Guatemala. We'll keep an eye on him. Let's talk about something, Richard. Well, and I'm here with the legend, Hall of Fame referee Richard Steele, the man of super fights in the 80s, especially the welterweight division here just less than a week now for Spence Crawford. Let's talk about something, though, that's near and dear to your heart, your foundation, the Richard Steele Boxing Club, working with these kids. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, my foundation, I started years ago, but it has grown. We have over, 80 different kids in our organization. We have a fight coming up the 12th of next month. And we got some kids coming from New Mexico. We get calls from all over Arizona, Utah. Kids are coming in to fight in the tournament, and hopefully my kids will win.
Right.
But it's going to be a great little tournament. It's a one-day tournament. And, so many kids have been calling, coaches been calling from different states, and everybody's invited, but the way that things have worked out, we try to keep it down to 15 to 20 fights, so that's going to eliminate a lot of people from being able to come and fight in this tournament. So it's only a 1-day tournament. If it was a 2-day tournament, we would have been able to accept a lot of more fighters, But my kids are very excited, and we are this tournament. We're dedicating it to the younger kids and the kids that didn't have or doesn't have a whole lot of fights, So we're looking for kids with no fights, 1, 2, 3, 4 fights. We're trying to make sure that we get them something to work at, something to work on the style and work on the craft, So we're going to have a lot of first time and fighters to fight in this tournament. A lot of kids with 1 or 2 fights. Well, we're really featuring them.
Yeah, and obviously I've been to your gym several times over the years, and it's really there to keep these at-risk kids off the street. You use boxing kind of as that carrot to lead them down a better path.
Yeah.
Talk about that, because you were one of those kids back
That's
in
right. Until I found something that I really loved, and that was boxing, So I had no need in running with the other guys that I was getting in trouble with in the streets, So I left them. I stayed at the gym and stayed out of trouble. And look, man, who would know that I become a referee? And when I went to the service, I became all Marine Corps champion and everything. So I gave myself a chance by staying in the gym and working hard and trying to be somebody, trying to be something. And come to find out that that's the problem with most kids. They don't know, they really don't know what they want to be, So until they find something that they can do and materialize into being a champion. So boxing has been a great tool for me, and I just try to give it to the kids in the neighborhood, the kids in the states, all the states that come to my tournament, to show them that, hey, you can do the same thing. All you got to do is stay in the gym and work hard and be true to yourself. The smoking, the drinking, and all of that, it doesn't give you anything, and it doesn't do nothing for you. So why even get involved with it? So hey, live a good, clean life, learn how to box, and the doors will open for you.
Yeah, and it's such a great foundation, and being there around all those kids, it's really cool. We'll end it with this, Richard. You mentioned being in the service, obviously with Ken Norton, the great heavyweight. You had relationships with Sugar Ray Robinson through the years, but excuse me, Muhammad Ali, the greatest.
Yes.
I know you had a special bond with him as well. Can you share the story for the fans around the world about your relationship with him and what he did for you?
Well, he really made me know that refereeing was the place that I should go. He even told me, he said, look, man, you're the second black referee ever appointed in the state of California, and you're doing a great job, and you can really do the state of boxing a great service by becoming the best referee you can be, and so, that those words right there made me know that I wanted to become a referee, and I wanted to become the best referee, Muhammad Ali was a great guy, and he steered me in the right way, saying the right things to become the best referee I could, And hey, I love the guy for that.
And there was an exhibition he had at a city college in LA that
Yes,
you refereed.
East LA. So he talked to the commission and said, "Hey, let Richard Steele referee my exhibition." So he boxed like three different guys, and I refereed all three of them. And he said, "Great job."
Yeah, great job. And those were the words you needed to hear.
Yeah, that I needed to hear, but also it was great that the commission and the public got a chance to see me with somebody that was a great fighter, refereeing a great, exhibition with three guys. And so they accepted me as that.
And then when you opened up your gym in Vegas, he came out for the grand opening.
Yes. Yeah, he came to the grand opening, and I still have that picture. And also, he enticed Mike Tyson to even come to the grand opening, So it was Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali at my grand opening here in Las Vegas. And, that picture is still on the wall, and people still look at it and say, "Man, they was together." I said, "Yeah, they was together at my opening of this gym."
Wow. Wow. Well, Richard, man, like I said at the top, you're a legend in the sport. You're you've been there, you've seen it all from, as a pro fighter, as a hard-hitting knockout artist at the Olympic Auditorium, to arguably the greatest referee of all time. Did most of the big super fights in the 80s we talked about. And now I'm just glad we're here to see this one coming up next weekend. I'll be out there in Vegas, so
yeah,
I know I'll see you. What's that?
I'll be looking for you.
You'll be looking for. Yeah, but Richard, I owe everything in the sport to you. I've told you that a bunch of times, and it's great to see you. You look good. I know you don't always feel too good sometimes.
Yeah, right. When you get to be 80.
But you look good, man. And
thank you, Jeff. You've been doing a great job. You're a great writer, and one things that really helped you and continue to do so, to study boxing, understand boxing, and learn the fighters.
Yeah, learn the fighters. Great advice. And I love talking to fighters and legends like yourself. Richard, thanks again. I'll see you this weekend in Vegas.
Thank you, Jeff, and take care. Thanks.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right.